and I can send you a link. All right. Well, hey, good afternoon to all Thunderbird students who may be watching this and couldn't attend for whatever reason with the class. Adam Cole here, founder of Join the Journey. I'm just going to go through a short presentation for everyone to understand our organization and how the internship might work. So as you can see here, we like to put our clients, our beneficiaries front and center. One of them here from Zambia sells tomatoes, and she received a loan to help her tomato business expand, get some charcoal, and really grow and feed her families, which is the essence of what we do. And share a little bit more as we go through the presentation. But we call it our ground zero. Every organization, whether you're a company, whether you're a charity, kind of has an origin story. You know, for some people, it might just be like, hey, I had an idea and we decided to turn it into a business. For me, it was more experiential in that Haiti in 2010 went through a tragic earthquake, and so many lives were just lost almost in an instant. Very tragic, unfortunate situation. And then, you know, my unit at the time, the Navy, was sent there to help with the relief, help with the aid, and I got a chance to just connect with people in Haiti up close, personal, through that experience, and said, "Oh, right, I really want to help you all some more. How do we do that?" And so, you know, you launch a nonprofit, and that's one way to do it. So I started Join the Journey in 2010, shortly after that moment, and really began a journey, and it's kind of where we get the name, of walking with community. We picked a very local community in Haiti where there was relief on this corner, there was relief on this corner. You know, a lot of aid was flowing into the country, but this specific community was kind of left unadopted. It was called CAPVA. And so we moved in, just really began building partnerships, relationships, helping feed the community and give them opportunities to get back on their feet through education and everything like that. But you know, we realized that a lot of our work, particularly in a lot of the food aid we were doing, wasn't sustainable. And so we needed to provide an economic activity so that those people there could truly get back on their feet. And that's where we said microloans. And what we recognized was that, and the thing with microloans is that you realize that it's a capital an access to what they call an access to capital problem, where some people don't qualify for banks, or they might not have the right collateral, and therefore they're stuck using what little money they already have, which is extremely little, to get the goods that they need to sell. But with a microloan, they can expand, they can get more of what they need. You know, you can see one of our clients there getting all these hair rollers, toothbrush, everything, and then taking that to market makes such a difference. We saw impact right from the get-go in that program. As you can see, just kind of as a snapshot, you know, you've got most of them mothers working to just take care of their families. And so obviously you're giving them 100, as little as $100, $200. But that loan then creates sustainability, and the offshoots of that are so much, from feeding families, buying clothes, house improvements. We've seen just what that extra bit of cash infusion can do. And so Zambia has really been where we landed after Haiti. Just we moved out of Haiti simply for a little bit more stability, as you might have seen through the news. Very difficult situation right now with their president. And so we had already experienced a lot of those tremors starting back in 2019 and 2020. based on fuel shortages and kind of interpolitics and inter-societal conflict. And we just said, hey, we gotta work a little bit more with stability. And sometimes you have to make those calls based on your own viability. And we really had to make a hard decision. So Zambia became the place. And really, we've just worked hand in hand with a financial services company, Spark Zambia, to do these loans. We have a unique partnership. We're joining the journey as the 501c3, kind of the donation arm. And then we grant those funds to Spark Zambia to use for the loans. And they do it in a way that obviously with principles that we jointly agree on, particularly in servicing female entrepreneurs and people that might not otherwise be qualified. Now, we did have a goal, 500 entrepreneurs by the end of the year. We missed that target by a little bit, 150. Now, we had it large because we wanted to set vision. Sometimes in business, that's what you got to do, just set vision. We came into some just overall growth model challenges in terms of donor onboarding, and things like that. But hey, 2022, especially when you guys hit ground for the spring semester, is going to be a new chapter. And we're going to try again to seize that number. And we think we have now really the capacity to do it. So it's going to be exciting. Here's just a little bit of just how we do our model from a business standpoint. We have an entrepreneur, we kind of onboard them. They go through a boot camp. They then get the equivalent of $200, which right now actually is more of like 3,500 Quattro. Just because there's fluctuations in the US dollar and value there. And then they experience growth, feed families, just like that earlier picture. The boot camp is key, and that's why I put this on here, so that you all know we're doing an education piece as well, coaching piece that goes a long way in helping these people. As I mentioned before, this just gives a pictorial aspect of it. We've got a donation kind of capability that goes into then distribute and deploy that capital to Zambia through our intermediary partner, who then does the due diligence process to issue the loan and then receive the loan on the back end. A little bit of borrower criteria. We really do try to get gender equity with 90% female. Sort of a compassion model in some ways of demonstrated family need. If they've got a significant number of kids, they might be widow. Definitely a pre-existing business and business validation plan. So this isn't just quite like a charity model. It's not like, okay, they really need this. It's like, hey, you really have to be able to show that you can repay the loan. And we go through, particularly in that boot camp, a strict due diligence to make sure that hey, are you guys, your business type, will you get enough of a cash flow to pay? What do you need to do? How do you manage your expenses so that you can essentially make sure you pay and grow? I mean, that's the ultimate thing, is that growth, So what about the program right now? For you all, this is really where you'll be trying to do everything, but that's what's fun about an internship, is we really set it about 10 weeks, which I think will bring us through. You guys graduate in like what, May or something? I think summer was shorter just because it was summer. So we'll probably extend that to 12 weeks, probably less intensive based on the fact that you've got a full course load where summer was different. So we can modify it. I know that overall I'll try to get to that 120, 150 hours for the semester. Main thing is we really try to connect you with our, I should say, entrepreneurs in our team in Zambia, um, where you're going to learn the day-to-day ops. You're going to learn the borrower management that they're doing, and who didn't repay and why didn't they repay? Were they sick? Were they this? Were they that? What are we doing to get our growth? Well, do we need to go partner with the local fisheries place? Or, hey, it's rainy season right now, so it sounds like everyone's pivoting. What's that doing to sales? And you guys are going to help us document and really codify those shifts so we can plan for them as our enterprise looks at everything. Well, we might, out of this internship and you all making some recommendation, we might say, well, hey, during rainy season is not the best time to make loans. So we got to actually front load all our capital and push it out during this, stuff like that. We're asking you to make observations and be a part of it, and you're going to hear all of it, and that's what's going to be exciting. Obviously, you're going to learn about poverty because it's just the nature of the beast of being in Africa. Hearing people, what they have to go through to get food, to get the goods that are required of their business. It'll open your eyes in a lot of ways. And then we put help us fundraise. Certainly, we do that. It's not like, hey, you're going to go knock on door to door and say, hey, can you support this? But we're looking for the marketing side of this. It's kind of like fundraise should really be like, in your mind, from a business standpoint, sales. Help us identify target demo graphics. What channels should we be using? What words might resonate? And you'll work closely with our marketing team to be able to push some of that out. Because every time we give a loan, we try to get videos, pictures, and that's used in all the collateral that we put out. And so you're going to be exposed to that. I know we did also put on there the finance side, and that's a special track if you're interested in. We'll definitely get you set up. There's two financial streams. One is just the basic operations that we do, from everything from hosting the Zoom call costs money, right? Subscription, keeping the website going, paying staff, balancing that with, a ledger sheet of, hey, we think we're going to get at least 3,000 in donations this month. To also the beneficiary and the client side, financials of, hey, how much did we collect this month versus last month? Are we seeing trends? Are we growing our overall inventory? Yes. Well, because we just funded more people, so some of that is important, particularly, I think when you talk about in business sense, month over month revenue growth. Right now, in general, we're doing a lot of month over month revenue growth simply because we keep putting more capital in. But also at the same time, now that capital is in there, we want to make sure we're stewarding it, using it so that Spark Zambia can grow and ultimately help more people on the ground. And you're a part of that in terms of analyzing and really understanding the nuts and bolts of those financial models. So I think I talked a little bit about this in terms of the focus areas. So we try to hit all these different points. Some of it's fluid, some of it's more block centered. Basically, like you just start you on a battle rhythm, in terms of, hey, every Monday we're gonna Zoom with Zambia, be on the call, ask your questions. Then we'll kind of take you through the donor development. CRM. Has anyone heard of CRM? Customer relationship management. There you go. Well, we'll teach you all that. In terms of, getting into who's a customer, why are they a customer? Are they a repeat customer? Are they in a certain demographic or geographic area? Do we have their email, phone number? How are we moving them through a pipeline to get a repeat sale? How are we using their friend network to build even more clients? All that's going to be important. And you'll look at that. Marketing comes, we kind of talked about that just with the imagery, the social media. How many of you have ever put out a digital newsletter before? Okay. Well, you're going to have another chance at it, from everything from sculpting it, from the banner. What do we put? Main photo. We go here. Well, maybe we need a call out button. It's going to lead to the website. It's going to drive a donation. So we really look at this from a business perspective. Even though it's like donations, we try to get you into thinking about funnels, thinking about calls to action, thinking about how does that one thing that you're putting out lead to a conversion. And that'll help you wherever you go. If you can come to an employer and say, I think I can increase your conversion rate by 30%, you're already talking their language because they're thinking about conversions. And again, finances, how we work those. Cash flow management is so huge because, I have to project out 6 months ahead, to keep the lights on, but at the same time, do the programming. So it's a complex web. So that's it. I'll keep the recording going because some of your questions may be key to other people that have questions. So any thoughts? And sorry, my dog is wants to find out what's going on. I don't know if everyone's just on mute or no thoughts.
I just have one.
Yeah, please.
I don't know if it's just an information overload or hearing all it, but when picking people who qualify for the loan, how does that whole process go from like the business's end to the person's end? And then just kind of a little bit of clarification on that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Really what we do is we, number one, assess people who are in the community. We pick a very targeted community, and then from there, we basically invite people to come to kind of a pre-boot camp and information session and just kind of get a sense of their businesses. It's kind of like, hey, give me a 10-second elevator pitch. We're like, well, I have lentils and I sell them at the local market. Like, okay, you qualify. Anyone that's at least got a business, that's a starting place. Now, then we say, hey, here's a little bit about the program. It's $200 loan. You have to repay over X number of months. You have to be committed to doing it. Do you still want to participate? Like, okay, yeah, sure. I really want to grow. And then they go through the boot camp, which really at that point, we're doing what's called cash flow sheets for everyone. What we want to see is they're thinking about growth. That's step one in this process. A lot of them are retailers that sell 1 or 2 items, clothing. They get it from a place, a lot of times in the city center somewhere. They'll get fish, they'll get a trough of fish and be like, hey, I gotta go sell this now. So they're really resilient. We just do kind of what we call due diligence. I mean, it's not really scientific in a lot of ways. Could be more. But at this level, because it's mostly like product sale, we're just making sure that their products and kind of their go-to-market strategy makes sense. Like, hey, I'm going to use the loan. I'm going to expand my inventory. I'm going to sell fish and I'm going to also sell rice. Because people who are getting fish usually ask me for rice. We're like, okay, and you think the rice and you have a good sourcer for the rice and your margins look good, you're going to need to sell about 200 cups of that rice per day, but you think you can do it? But yeah, I mean, I'm going to be in the market stall. I usually get about 100 people past. 200 might be a little bit crazy, but I'm going to be about market, so I think I can get the throughput. And then we're like, okay, validate it. So in a lot of ways, compared to a traditional lending sort of cycle in the US, checking people's bank statements, their credit history, any other, income they might have, certainly it's a lot quicker. It's like, okay, it's very much a person to person kind of factor, and looking people in the eye and just really saying, hey, do you have a viable business? Yes. And away we go, and because this is more of a charity poverty alleviation model, we keep that stance rather than trying to make it so almost disqualify them on their face value. So I don't know if that helped.
Yeah, that helped a lot.
Okay, great. And a couple other points which you'll find out is we issue the funds via like a cell phone, their cell phones through Spark Zambia Bank to their cell phones. And that's a unique thing in Africa, is where money changes hands, almost like in a Venmo style, because everyone's got cell phones. Not everyone has bank accounts. And so once we approve them for the loan and we get the funds in place, that's how we do it. And so you'll get a chance to see it firsthand. We'll take you all through the entire set of the loan cycle from, hey, we got a list of beneficiaries, check their names, did they pass boot camp? Yes, no, keep a list of that. Then when we get ready to, they'll put their loan application in. So you'll see that. In fact, you can see some of it on our website now. I can probably just do a little bit of a test or a little bit of a demonstration on that for you all. Just so you can kind of get a sense of what the borrowers look like and how it kind of works. Give me 1 second here. So yeah, basically, they essentially list all their names here, and you learn a little bit about them. They go through a process of updating their name on the website, and you can see who this person got funded. It just shows a little bit about what they do. Here, let me get one that isn't funded. So she's a married woman with 2 children, owns a small shop, seamstress prison, high design and sell fully customized clothes. I wanted to buy materials for my outfits and additional cotton fabric, and then kind of a note to donor. So all that's part of what we get from them to be able to replicate and show what they need. But good question. Good question. April?
I just have a question about the boot camps. Would we be helping with those or not?
Yeah, it's a good question. The boot camps are mainly done in country, but we usually have a special section that's kind of like a founders meetup. And you would be helping getting the US coaches to facilitate a talk, and also just helping out with the admin side. Hey, who came to the boot camp, looking over some of the criteria to make sure that they're tracking, making sure we're collecting all their business cash flows as the boot camp finishes, and really just helping out on the admin side. Great. Well, I'll go ahead and stop the recording here. For those that are listening, please reach out if you're interested at adam@gtjourney.org, and looking forward to seeing what happened on the spring semester.